WTWO's Beyond the Stands podcast is brought to you by Crow Equipment, Andrews Heating and Air Conditioning, Snap Home Media LLC, Sycamore Insurance Associates. Here's your host, Rick Semler.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Stands. Exciting time around the Wabash Valley. High school basketball is rolling, of course, in Indiana. Nothing better than high school basketball. And over this past weekend, one of our coaches reached a nice milestone. I'm talking about Northview boys basketball head coach Shawn Nevill. He reached his 100th career win, and he's nice to join me from school today. Coach, good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was a fun weekend, a long weekend, but got 2 wins, so it was a good deal.
So let's take everybody through it. Over the weekend, you played down at Forest Park. You beat Providence 45-25 to pick up your 100th career win. I know you try not to pay attention to it, but you knew it was coming. I guess just first of all, what was your thought process going in, knowing that 100th win was right there?
Yeah, I mean, we had talked about Providence, and, they had only played 1 game. So they played Friday night, and then we played them Saturday. So we didn't have a whole lot of film against them. So we kind of went in a little blind. But, the guys, after playing a tough, physical Sullivan team Friday, less than 24 hours, they were able to bounce back. And, I was happy that they got the win. I didn't want that sitting for another week because try not to think too much about that stuff, but it does linger in your head a little bit, and I'm glad they were able to get it done.
You keep speaking your team. One of the things I love about you've always been about kids, but everybody blew up social media, all that stuff, your 100th win. Be honest with me, how much did it drive you crazy? Because you're not one who likes the spotlight.
No, yeah, I went back all 100 of them. I didn't score a single point, so or rebound or anything. So, it was a cool weekend, and I was excited about it, obviously. But it just meant that we were able to go 3-0 this season, and hopefully we can keep adding to that. But it was special. My parents did some nice things, and, coaches, we had to get together. So it was a good weekend. It was fun. But again, I'm hoping to stack a few more this weekend.
I saw a lot of coaches in the area, friends of yours, players, current and past, send you messages, nice messages. What does all that mean to you? Yeah,
I mean, it's awesome. I have a lot of friends that I get a coach against, and, it is fun to go against them. But, friends first and foremost. Joe, who we play this weekend at West Vigo, gave me a chance to be a varsity assistant when I was 24, after just being a middle school and freshman coach up until then. Learned a ton from him. So getting those messages from coaches like him and other coaches around the area, it really does mean a lot.
Now, I know you're not one to reflect back, especially not in the middle of the season, but I always ask coaches when they reach milestones, do you remember win number 1 in your career?
I do. It was against Paris at the Paris Invitational Tournament. We had lost the night before, a game that I thought we should have won. Gave up a free throw block out, and they ended up getting offensive rebound and putback and beat us. I remember that being a long night. I remember not sleeping very much, and talking to a bunch of people, and they just said kind of relax a little bit. The win will come, and the next night, luckily, we got to play again, and we were able to get a win against Paris that night.
Good memory. I had to look at it. It was 2017. You did beat Paris, but then you went on and won 4 straight games after that. In your first year, you go 14-10. It started off good for you, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, we lost that first game, and just like a young coach, the sky was falling, and then we're able to rattle off, I think, 5 straight. We won the tournament. We actually beat the team we lost to in the championship, so that was good. And then beat an Attica team, a good Attica team, the next weekend to start 5-1, and it was a good first year. I think back to that team with, Bryce McClish and Braden Calber and Mason Wiltermude. Those guys, it was a special group, and they definitely got my career rolling for sure.
You speak about a young coach. You started in 2017, first few years at South Vermillion, then you come to Northview. You're 175. The Shawn Nevill coach from 2017 to the Shawn Nevill coach in 2025, how different are you?
Uh, yeah, I don't know if I'm a ton different. Obviously, I'll probably do a few different things. I'd have to go back to my playbook from then, but I still try to be as prepared as possible. I don't want the kids to ever take a game off, so I try not to take a game off. Every game is important. Um, but as far as coaching wise, if you see me on the sideline when we get the other team to call a timeout or something, or go on a run, I think I'm one of the most excited people in the gym. So at 42, I better be careful, but the intensity is still there. Anytime we can go on a run like that, which was there in 2017, and hopefully the whole time I do this, I don't lose that.
You speak of that. I got to ask you. I know you. I mean, as a friend, a little bit to the side when you're not coaching. Like to me, you seem laid back. Your wife and kids might disagree. Your players might disagree. But then when you get on the court on Friday, Saturday nights, or during the week, not that you're crazy, but you're very animated. You get into it. Just talk about how that works.
Well, yeah, I am pretty laid back. Students in class would even call me a little monotone at times, but when I get on that floor, I've always felt, and something that Coach Baylor, energy brings energy. And if I don't have energy, how do I expect the kids to? So it does get a little tougher as we get older, to have that kind of level of intensity, level of energy. But I expect it from them, and hopefully it helps the kids on Friday night too, when they know that I'm just as excited as they are.
You speak of the energy. One other thing I really respect about you, the amount of players that you have coached that I've talked to that, like, they love you. They go back and talk to you to this day and call you, maybe the ultimate players coach. How important is that relationship? Not only that you coach the guys, but that you have a relationship with your players.
Yeah, I mean, that's why ultimately I do this. I want to stay young, and the best way to do that, I feel, is to hang out with young kids. And I still don't understand what some of the things they say means, but I don't listen to all their music. But it's very special to me that they continue to talk to me. I know when I was a JV coach at Terrell South, I have a bunch of special kids I still talk to this day that call friends now, and they have family and they have kids, and former players at South Vermillion that I started with. We go to Colts games sometimes, and it just that's why we do this ultimately. And I've developed a large database of numbers in my phone that hopefully each kid knows that anytime they need anything, they can call me. Because ultimately, wins and losses are great, but thinking that maybe you helped them along the way, or they remembered something you said, or it's definitely makes it worthwhile.
Talk about. I know you've had a lot of big wins, and it's the losses I've always heard that get the coaches. Have you had a game in your 8-year career that you really wish that you could have back, whether at South Vermillion or Northview?
Oh man, I was thinking about you might ask me about the win, which win I was the biggest, but loss. Well, we were up 1 point on Terre Haute North with 51 seconds left in the First Financial Classic at South Vermillion, and come out from a timeout. They have the ball, and we end up committing a foul, and they hit 2 free throws. We fall behind and miss the next shot. They make a few more free throws and put us away. But that's probably one game where I sat there as like we had a chance. And anytime, as good as Terre Haute North is and Coach Wolfley is one of the best, to have a chance and let it slip through your fingers, I felt like that was a tough one.
Coach Wolf was a nightmare for a lot of people, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he I think he's the standard as far as coaches right now in the area, and with the Classic the way it is and the number of times they've won it, that's who we're all kind of chasing.
We'll get to him in a second on the Classic and U2. So
Yep.
you talked about it. Maybe you were thinking about it. Do you have a win that stood out in your career?
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, the first sectional win was important to me. At South Vermillion, I thought we had a lot of really, really good teams and some teams that could have done a few things in a sectional. But coming to Northview, tough to admit that I hadn't even won a sectional game yet. We had lost in the first round every year. So winning that first sectional game, that first sectional the next night, we did beating Park Heritage 1 year at the CRC at South Vermillion. A few weeks before they went on an incredible run to the state finals, I believe, with the Johnson boys. I think, or maybe that was the year before they went to the state finals. But that was a special win as well. There are a lot of them. Usually, the best wins come against the coaches that I know do such a great job, and their kids are prepared and things like that. So it means a lot when you're able to be a little bit ahead at the end.
You talk about winning that first sectional at Northview. Since you've taken over at Northview, and I know you're going to say it's the players, but you brought in a system and established something pretty special there, 41-15 in year number 3 there. Just talk about the amazing run your group has been on the last couple of years at Northview.
Yeah, when I got here, I knew they had some talent. I knew about Braden. I knew about a few of the players that they had. I think my job has been made easier with this group because I don't think I've ever had to tell them to play hard. It's always coaching. They bring that every single day, every game. They play hard and they play together. So that takes a couple things off the plate right there. So now it's just a matter of execution and getting them in the right spots and hoping that I can get them in the right spots and getting them prepared. But the first part makes it a lot easier.
You guys just recently in the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association moved into the top 20. You're ranked 20th in the state for all classes. It was no secret coming into the season. You returned most of your team from a regional final team a year ago. Expectations, not only in Brazil, but statewide. People are expecting Northview to be good. What's it like to be a coach of a team where expectations are so high for you guys?
Yeah, no, it's different. I've had to change my frame of mind just a little bit. I've always, enjoyed the building process of a team. At South Vermillion, they had came off of a couple of lean years and being able to build something where, I felt like it wasn't a circle win on the schedule for other teams. I enjoyed that part. This year, it's been a little bit different. The expectations are so high that you've had to kind of get away from the building part and be like, okay, now we got to do something with that expectation. So that's been the biggest difference. When we played Providence, a team that they're really good on the state scale. They won the state championship a couple of years ago. Very well coached, very disciplined, very physical. They knew our players. And I think that's a testament to statewide. The first thing the coach said was, congratulations on the Hall of Fame Classic and things like that. So our name is getting out there, and that's a good thing. And that's what I hope to continue, that when people think of Northview, they think of Northview basketball and how good and hopefully how good we can continue to be.
You mentioned the Hall of Fame. It's the second time Northview will play in the Hall of Fame Classic. It's been a long time that they did that back in 2003, I think was the last time, was Zach and Logan Whitman. Usually the best teams in the state get invited to that. There's just 4 teams. So you can say what you want to, like, oh, we're here, there. You guys are one of the better teams in the state to get invited to that. Not only do you play in the Hall of Fame Classic, you play Mount Vernon, who has a Purdue signing, and Luke Ertl. Then the following week you play in the First Financial Classic. I don't know if there's been a bigger stretch of 7 to 8 days for Northview basketball in the regular season in program history. I guess, first of all, how big of a stretch is that for your program?
Yeah, no, it's big. We've talked about it. The best thing about this group and I've told several people this, any challenge that I put in front of them, they seem to find a way. They don't back down from any challenge. They just continue to play, continue to fight. And, my hope and my expectation with them is they're going to do the same, that they're going to find a way. We're not going to have as many off days. We may have to learn a little bit from film more so than being on the court, because that is going to be a stretch where their legs probably, hopefully day 4 of the Classic, if we can get there, their legs aren't going to feel the best. But I never doubt this group as far as challenges that I put in front of them. They seem to just find a way.
You mentioned it. It's kind of weird. Last year you set the most wins in a season. You guys might not do that this year because you have beefed up the schedule like you talked about. I know it's the wins, but how much, it sounds funny to say this, but how much do you feel maybe a couple of losses during the regular season might actually benefit you guys when you try to go after that for another sectional title and potentially that first regional championship?
Yeah, no one's rooting for losses by any means, but when you look at the last year, it's never happened in Northview history. 24 wins. You look at the Bloomfield game. You look at the second time we played North. You look at even the first day of the Classic last year, we beat Edgewood by 1. There are a lot of good teams, a lot of good coaches. Some of those games, sometimes they're 50-50 calls, and last year we were able to essentially kind of win them all. And we don't expect that to happen. We want it to happen, but yeah, we've tried to play the best teams that we can find, starting with that Classic. We went and played Providence, who statewide is very well known. Danville's back on our schedule, so we're trying to not worry too much about wins and losses this season, as much as getting ready to hopefully do something special in March.
You will enter the Classic with a huge bullseye. I've told everybody the reality of it. The 3 teams going in that are the favorites is Terre Haute, North Park, Heritage, and Northview. What would it mean? I know you're going to say game by game. Yes, I understand that. But the chance to have a repeat at the Classic, win it 2 years in a row, what would that mean, do you think, to your group?
Yeah, no, it'd mean a lot. I still watch a lot of games from that Classic and just kind of think, how do we do that? And 3 days, a year before, we were playing at 10 a.m. off of 2 losses, and just hoping to salvage 1 game in the Classic, and then the next year to do that. If we were able to do it again, that would mean a ton. I think it would prove any naysayers that felt like we got breaks, which in that tournament you have to get a few breaks. You have to get a few things go your way. But I think it would solidify the fact that we are good basketball over here in Brazil, and anytime you play a Northview team, that it's going to be a tough game, and you're going to have to earn any victory against us you can get.
I know I get people stirred up about this when I call it the Todd Wolfley Invitational for the Classic.
I like it.
Because he's won it so much. So last year, I deemed it the Shawn Nevill the Classic or the Invitational after you won it. Do you like that ring? I know you don't want to just hand it over, or you don't just want to take it away from Wolfley. You feel he deserves it. How about the Shawn Nevill Invitational?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed winning that very much. I like that. I feel like, what was it, 9-1 or something like that. I think it had to win a few more to get at that level, but it was a magical week, and we're hoping to make another one.
So, I know you, like I said, about the pub. How much do you cringe when everybody, including myself, starts calling it the Shawn Nevill Invitational?
Yeah, I like the ring of it, but I just I'm not sure I'm quite there, or the team's quite there yet. But we're going to work towards maybe at some point, maybe we can do that.
There you go. I got to ask you before I let you go. I know you coach all these kids. Your son is coming up. Well, what's it like? coaching your son, I know how it is. I don't coach high school basketball, but I coach my son through the feeder programs, and it's different. What is it like, being a high school varsity coach, a successful high school varsity coach, but also, your son's in middle school, and he's coming up as well?
Yeah, no, it may be one of the tougher things that I've done. He does a great job. I'm very proud of him. I sometimes, I think he sees the game like I do. I always thought I'd hope that I'd be a better coach than I am a player. And he sees the game like I do. We'll watch it together or something, and he knows everything about it. And middle school is such a crazy time. Some kids look like they could be sophomores in high school. Some, don't. And but it'll be fun. My assistant coach has a son that's on the same team. We have good friends on that team, and I'm excited. And I don't want to wish time away now, because we got a very good group. We got groups in front of him, but it will be exciting, and I'll probably have to learn how to do that a little better than I have at this point. But he works hard, and I'm proud of him. And hopefully I can add to every time we play a coach that has a son on the team. I feel like we got to guard that guy a little bit harder, and he'll probably get that too. And I'm probably hard on him, because I know that it kind of happens now. Teams aren't able to scout at the middle school level, but that's Coach Neville's son or whatnot. We better guard him hard. But you look at like Blake Neal and Gavin and all the coaches' son. Coach Baylor's son Talon last year. There's been a few of them. I may have to seek some advice from them before he gets here.
And the best question, does he listen to you? And you said on the maybe disagreements, how much does mom have to get involved with you two?
No, he does listen to me. He tries. I think right now we're kind of going through some developmental things, and I'll ask him to go shoot, and he'll tell me no. And then we have someone else that's been working with him. I'm grateful that they do. And like, you want to go work out with him? Absolutely. Yeah, no. So, it's a lot better to go shoot with someone else than go shoot with dad, I guess.
I understand that 100%. And does mom have to get involved with anything with you two yet, or are we not to that stage yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, she, he's not a high school player quite yet. And I have to understand that and be better about that. But she's been really good, and Ryder listens. I think he's got a tough few years ahead of him being the coach's son, but hopefully he'll get used to that, and he'll do all right with it.
You got to tread carefully, because mom's always going to side with her baby.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, Coach, I appreciate you joining me on your 100th win. You guys have gotten off to the start everybody expected you to. Huge things expected from Northview this season. I know you will be working hard, but try to enjoy the ride this season. It could be a lot of fun for you, Coach.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to tell myself that these years don't come along every year, and we're hopeful to keep winning. As always, I appreciate the coverage and the support after 100 wins, and hopefully we can add a few more.
Anytime, Coach. Covered you a long time. That's Northview head coach Shawn Nevill after picking up his 100th career win. That does it for this edition of Beyond the Stands.
WTWO's Beyond the Stands podcast is brought to you by Crow Equipment, Andrews Heating and Air Conditioning, Snap Home Media LLC, Sycamore Insurance Associates. Catch this episode again and more of Rick's interviews online at mywabashvalley.com.